I think we're gonna look at transparency and honesty in music way differently. We're gonna look at it way differently now after this album because like I feel like this album set the bar as far as that. And 444, I listened to that earlier today just because I was thinking like it reminds me of that. Like but Jay-Z like was on that level of transparent. I just feel like Kendrick took it up a notch. Like not to say that Jay-Z didn't get into specifics because he did.
Storytelling.
Yeah, but this nigga Kendrick just like he just beefed it up. Like I said, like take it or leave it. This is me going forward. Now y'all know who I am now. I'm not perfect. Y'all thought I was loyal to my girl. I've been fucking bitches on tour. Straight up.
Doing what I feel with no regrets. Constantly forgiving, but I'm never gonna forget. Always keeping my composure. I won't let them see me sweat. The only thing that really matters is the power and respect in this world. I won't make the same mistakes from all the lessons I learned. Ain't no coping, no emotions for them bridges I burned. Must have been forced.
Yeah, man. But nah, freestyles. I'm gonna keep dropping the freestyles, and I got I'm gonna be remixing like all these other like popular trending songs already, like Churchill Downs, shit like that.
Hey,
I'm gonna drop the tape.
I'm about to start rapping for no reason just to make sure you don't kill me.
Oh, it's over with.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Hey, but nigga Jordan still got the title, bro.
Nah, hey, we can run it right. I've been practicing, dog, off the top, nigga.
I have not, but I'm always.
You weren't practicing before either.
I've never been practicing. I just do this shit.
Nah, I got better off the top.
Yeah, Jordan snap, bro.
Yeah, man. You can't be doing that to
like,
me.
if you going like freestyle one time, that was it. Like,
yeah, just hang it up.
matter of fact, I would never freestyle again if I was you.
Put the jersey up in the rafters, dog.
That wasn't even that good.
You got it recorded and
Man, you
everything.
said Jello, Modelo. I still remember the shit.
Nigga traumatized.
Hello.
Say what?
Matter of fact,
Vanilla.
we need to weave that clip into this joint. We still have this one, right?
It's on one of the episodes.
It's on one episode.
Yeah, it's on
Episode, whatever number that was.
Yeah, I ain't watched that in a minute. I need to run that.
You said you washed that nigga. I don't think I dropped any music for a while after that. I went back in the vault, nigga. I went back in the bag.
Practice. Nigga, Lansford got a job after that.
Nah, if you talking about everybody hopping on the track, nah,
Hey man, it's cool. You can send me the flowers, boy. Say thank
I
you.
don't want no smoke.
Nah, I at least gotta, at least say, hey, I made him draw blood too, though. Like he gotta have a scar or something. I can't just.
It's all good.
Have you ever freestyled, Drew? I mean,
Yeah,
minus the.
like feline in the fridge. He a cool cat.
That was freestyle. That was written.
I'm skillful.
I remember all y'all bars.
Written. Freestyle. I be coming up with some cold shit and then I don't ever like write it down. Like,
Hey, if you can send it my way.
To this day, like I said, send it my way.
I don't mind.
Speaking of bars, we supposed to be talking about. My bad. I'm gonna let you because you're passionate. But now you rubbing your hands. Go ahead.
Yeah, he clapped and everything. He was ready.
you got your segue
ready.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So we're talking about Kendrick, man. To be completely honest with y'all, I haven't listened to the whole album yet, but the songs that I have listened to like intently, like I like it.
I'm gonna put him on blast. We was talking a few hours ago. He said he listened to this shit on shuffle.
I do because man, like
You listen to a Kendrick album on
so here's the thing, like I haven't had time to I know it's more than like just music, you know what I'm saying? There's messaging involved. I haven't had time to really like I gotta pull out a thesaurus.
Like you need the time.
I gotta go to
No, that's a
genius.
fact.
I hate people come with that notion, but
Listen
I understand.
though, I understand too because Mother I Sober. I don't know how many times I try to listen to that song and like fully like sit there and like listen. Man, I don't even think I finished the song yet because I keep rewinding it to like understand it fully and I just haven't yet. I even pull out the lyrics sometimes and I'm looking and I'm reading and I realize I'm not really reading what I'm looking at and then I gotta listen to the song again, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. His music is like a Popeye's biscuit. You gotta be able to like, for real, man. Not that it's bad, you just gotta take a minute to digest, to chew up.
You need some water with it.
Yeah, for real. I need some milk with Kendrick music.
5 years, bro. I mean, so have y'all? So you haven't listened top to bottom. Have you listened top to bottom? What do y'all think? What's
I
your
listened top
reaction
to bottom.
on the album. Be honest, like you ain't gotta.
No, the shit is dope. Like we could see why he's one of them guys that could go away for 5 years, come back and everybody's still tuned in. Like you see why he drops like amazing content, storytelling. Like it's it's something everybody wants to digest. So the album is dope. It's one of my favorite albums. But for me, I'm not gonna keep going back to the album. You know what I mean? I'm just not. He has a few songs that I can listen to. You know, if it comes on like Father Time, We Cry Together. That shit hilarious to me. You know, so overall, amazing album. Probably gonna be one of the top albums of the year. You know what I mean?
He definitely won some awards off of that.
Definitely gonna win some awards. The Heart Part 5, I'm glad he put that on the album. You know what I mean?
I enjoyed that song more than any of the songs on the album, to be honest.
Yeah, he put it it's not a deluxe, but he threw it on the album.
He threw it on the album.
He threw it on the album.
Oh, I didn't even know that. That's cool.
Yeah, amazing project. But like I said, I'm just not going. Let me go back to that Kendrick. You know what I mean? I'm just not.
I feel opposite of you because I go back to it constantly.
Still?
Yes, I do, but for different reasons. Like I'm not gonna sit here and say that's something that you're gonna be hearing me, you know, driving in the whip listening to, like, cause like, you know, I do, but it's not. I'm like, if I'm like, you know, okay, I'm cruising, I'm, you know, about to have a good time in the city. I'm not pre-gaming to Kendrick.
It's not gym music.
Like it's you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not doing that.
What can you do while you listen to Kendrick though?
Like,
What do you do while you listen to Kendrick?
You gotta
Like,
just sit there.
You can't do nothing, right? That's what I'm saying.
that's not true.
I disagree with that, but go ahead.
Okay, but maybe after the first listen. But the
First
time
listen,
you
no, you
to
cannot.
Kendrick, you gotta be sitting
I don't
somewhere.
feel like,
But you have to do
when
that
any
with
of the
most
top
projects,
guys-
though.
Any of the top dudes that drop, I sit and I listen.
Yeah.
Not
Because I
like
wanna-
Kendrick though.
No, I'm saying I don't. If Drake drop, if J. Cole drop, if Kendrick drop, if any other artist drop, like
Anybody I wanna
Top
listen
Dog,
to?
my first listen, I'm sitting down, I'm doing nothing
and I'm
else, but
chilling.
I'm listening, like, cause I'm trying to listen to what they talking about, trying to hear what they saying.
Right.
Like seeing what they're delivering as a full project because
Right.
and
then I can get into riding in the car with it or.
That's what I'm saying.
You know,
that's
like-
why I haven't been able to like go through. It's the same reason why I don't start new TV shows. Like I be wanting to watch Snowfall. I can't because like, y'all always telling me how good it is, and I'm binge watch.
that's
Right.
crazy.
And sometimes like I don't know, like I do want to experience the album, but I haven't really had time to like.
I look
Matter of
at-
fact, I've had time. It just wasn't a priority for me
Right.
to sit down and like listen to the album. Which is why like what was the song we listened to before we started?
Count me out just now.
Like that song to me, like I don't have to like sit down and like try to digest it to enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like I got that song. It's on my repeat playlist on Spotify.
And that's what's beautiful about it, because that's the reason why I can say I can go to it constantly. Because like I said, like songs like that one, where it's like it's easy to listen to and you can enjoy it, but if you're actually listening to it, like there's like, and I'm sure we'll get into it later as far as like what's your favorite song and blah blah blah, like, and that's gonna be one of the ones I talk about. But yeah, it's just about, you know, how you're listening to it, like, because every album to me gets a different test. So like you get, okay, what's my first listen test? You get the whip test, you get the, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying, my workout test, you know, whatever the case may be. And so when it comes to this album though, it's like Kendrick did a very good job of expressing and rapping about shit that all of us in everyday life go through in a way in which we can't find words for. And so it's like, if you're actually listening to like some of this, like Count Me Out is one of them, like I said, I'll get into that later. That even We Cry Together and shit like that is like, he's making shit that we all go through and shit that affected him as a person, because the whole album was literally a therapy session to me. Like literally from beginning to end, like if you really was listening, it's like, to me it was like, okay, he literally like walked us through what he went through in therapy, is what I felt like. And when you're like listening to his music, it's like he has ways of showing you that without explicitly telling you, hey, this is what I talked about in therapy. This is what me and my psychiatrist. It's like he's putting you in a position where it's like, okay, not only can you feel like how I, you know, what I went through, how it affected me, how I came from it, and all that, but he put it in a way in which we could all relate to it artistically without him having to explicitly say it. So that's why I can go back to it constantly, because it's like certain songs where I can pick out, okay, you know what, I can think of a particular time in life where I think I might have known what you were going through.
Man,
because
you
of
better
something
be
that
able to
I
do
went
that.
through.
After 5 years of not making no music and just living, well, your music better be dense. You got a lot to talk about.
I mean, but like I said, it's all in the manner of how you package and deliver it.
That's
And
true.
I think he packaged it and delivered it in a way.
He's so like
that, like you said, like it almost feels like, you know, you're going through regular life as you're listening to it.
Right.
I just want you
know
to
what I'm
tell
saying?
me, bro. Just say what you're trying to say, fam. You ain't gotta explain it so beautifully.
I'm no, y'all know.
I was thinking the same thing.
Like-
bro.
But here's the thing: is like y'all know how I am. Like I'm not
Yeah,
being
yeah.
inauthentic. Like that's
No, that's for sure authentic to you.
that's how I talk.
I'm looking for the fastest way to do everything. Like I'm not. Go
So
ahead.
what do y'all value about like music? Why do y'all? Why
No,
great
I
question.
value that album so much. I don't want to listen to it all the time.
I
So,
get
like,
that,
yeah,
but
what
what
are
I'm
your
saying
musical
is, y'all was
values?
like, why it gotta be? Why do you guys want to listen to easily digestible?
Because sometimes
music?
when you're listening to something, you want to hear it, and just at that moment, you be like, like I felt that. Like Drake has a bunch of bars where he'll say something, and it's like, like I felt that. Or even Nipsey, like simple, straight to the point. You know what I mean? And you just feel it right then and there. Kendrick, you gotta literally
He has
sit
stuff
there,
that
listen.
You gotta take
yeah,
notes,
both.
boy. It's like a
In my
lecture.
opinion.
I'm gonna put it in a very relatable way. Have y'all ever had a moment where, say, your shorty texted you or mom texted you, and it's something that you know you gotta think about to reply to?
But you put it down,
No, not even that.
and you don't get back to that.
You're on Twitter sending messages, replying to people on Twitter or whatever, and say say it's your girlfriend or something, and they see that you're tweeting or whatever, and it's like, dang, so you got time to tweet, but you don't got time to reply to this message right here, and it's not that we don't have the time for it, but it's just like,
It's not on my mind.
there's mental energy that has to go into this reply, whereas this over here, I can do this mindlessly.
It's kind of that, but I think it's more so for me, like along the line with Drew was getting at, like, what do you value in music? To me, like, I value good, like, music that makes me feel good. Like, I like good beats, I like punchy, like, lines. And so when I go to listen to music, it's usually when I'm trying to do something that's gonna keep me, like, you know what I'm saying, motivated. If I was in a more, like, reflective mood and I wanted to learn and get into, like, some theory, then I'll throw on Kendrick music and, like, sit down and actually digest it. But most of the time, like, when I'm looking for music, and that's how I value my artists too. Like, I think J. Cole does a good job at making, like, he ain't as deep as Kendrick, and he's not as good of a rapper as Kendrick either, but his music, to me, like, the melody, like, the cadence is enjoyable to listen to. So that's what I prioritize when I choose my
So
song.
you don't think Kendrick's music is enjoyable?
I think some of it is. Like I said, damn, what's the name of the song?
I think it's like with J. Cole and some of these
Count me
other
Count me
artists,
out.
you can almost like take a song out of an album and enjoy it for the song that it is.
Yes.
Whereas sometimes with Kendrick stuff, is like you have to feel like you have to gain context into what you're listening to.
Because if you don't gain context, you want to.
you're gonna miss it, so you can't get the full
and
enjoyment.
it's not as
Damn.
enjoyable. Like it's not even
Damn.
sonically enjoyable. Like
Yeah.
what's that song? Where he was him and the girl was going. No, that's
We
Shut
Cried
Up.
Together.
We Cried Together.
We Cried Together.
That was kind of hard, regardless. But still, you gotta like listen to it and digest it for what it is. Like I ain't finna just sit here and like bop to a song that's like, well, no, fuck you.
I be blasting that shit in the car too.
Maybe at a red light and shit.
I mean, I guess
But, like,
I
that's
don't
the
know,
type of
like,
person
cause
you
then
are.
I feel like I'll get into my whole take.
We want to hear your take now.
You wanna hear my take?
Yes. Stop holding back.
Before Drew gets into his take, soliloquy, whatever you want to call it,
Monologue.
monologue.
Yeah, I'm dropping 81.
Whole diatribe.
Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Before Drew gets into his,
Soliloquy, monologue.
That's all I got.
That's all I get. I lost it. I smoked too much.
I will say. It's gonna come back.
No, I'm talking about just like in life, bro.
I do. Oh damn. I do. Like with Kendrick's album, Kendrick's music in general, because all his music kind of like requires you to reflect a little bit, and think about what he's saying. He always has like, for me, like 1 or 2 songs on every album that I can take out, and like you said, I can pull this one song out and it stands alone. That's like when I listen to music, I listen in a playlist. All my songs is like, what do I have on repeat? And I got Lance in there, I got Kendrick, I got Cole, I got like 1 or 2 Moneybag songs, but they're in my playlist.
Right.
That's how I enjoy music.
And I ain't mad at that.
yeah, and I mean, depending on your lifestyles, you enjoy music in different ways and different manners and stuff like that. So, that's
But I
important.
was gonna say I think it's a compliment, like for me to say like I can't listen to Kendrick all the time. Like I have to sit there and actually like digest it. I think that's a compliment, you know, because he grabs your attention in that way where you just want to sit there and listen to it. You don't want to be like cleaning your room and listening. Not saying you can't.
Passively.
But, right. You don't
gotta
want
be
to
actively
just.
listening.
Exactly. And I think that's a compliment and a testament to Kendrick as an artist.
I think it's a testament to him as a thought leader. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like people will actually, especially in 2022, like we all distracted. And people are actually sitting down, going to Genius, listening to because they respect what he has to say.
You got to.
Like I feel like Kendrick and his music, like in this album, it's like a really good book.
Yeah.
Like The Alchemist or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't read it all the time, but you're gonna get to a point where it's like, dang, let me pick that book up. You know what I mean? That's how I view Kendrick's music.
Yeah. It's gonna stand the test
So
of
let me
time.
ask you this. Yeah, so kind of speaking to that point. So you guys say you like certain music that you can't listen to all the time. So the music that you guys choose that's like easily digestible and stuff like that, how long do y'all continue to listen to that as the years go on? Because you know how the music game is. There's new shit getting put out every week.
Yeah.
So how quickly does that music get phased out versus...
It depends what we're talking about, to be honest. Like, if we're talking about Drake, like I still go back to Views, listen to Views and stuff.
hated Views.
Yeah, Views is growing on me.
Hated Views. I still hate Views.
I hated it when I first listened to
I
it.
don't listen to nothing past
but
Thank Me Later.
Views, hey,
It's growing.
hey, look, man.
But I liked
It grew on me for sure.
what's that joint? Tahiti Treat. Those corner stores TBE, the best ever. Don't ever question you know better. Everything it would have seen when it's
Western Road Flows.
Yeah, that's my shit.
Yeah. I go back to that all the time.
Yeah.
I still go back
But
to
I
that.
hate that album.
Yeah.
Then they come to the classic, they come around years later and say it's a sleeper. That's what he was talking about.
Yeah, but
Views, right?
Yeah, he's talking about Views is that. Like,
Dang. All right, where'd that come from?
that
He
was
said that in the bar.
the song he had with Lil Baby. That was on Scary Hours. I forgot the name of the song.
Yeah, I don't know. For me, I just listen to like certain songs until I find myself skipping them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if I find myself skipping songs, it's like, all right, like that's when I text y'all, hey, y'all got some new music? Once I
that's
start
real.
skipping all my joints, then that's it. I'll listen to songs for months though, months. Like it took probably a good, like when Tory Lanez dropped, what was that song? Before he allegedly did what he did.
On the new Toronto 3?
Yeah, New Toronto 3. Like I had that joint in rotation, like 3 or 4 songs off that album in rotation for at least a year. Yeah, it was a long time. But yeah, that's how I consume
I've been bumming Sue Surf for years. Y'all know that. So.
That's right, yeah, Susan.
All right, let me get in my shit, man.
Go ahead.
Delayed a little too long, man.
Hold on, we need a
Yeah, everybody just
drum roll.
Yeah, Drew been holding this one.
y'all. Everybody has said what they had to say. We good.
Yeah,
I'm good until Drew talk.
I'm gonna just go
Yeah,
ahead and turn my mic on.
That, don't even turn it off. We need to catch all of that.
Drew need a
But
solo.
I am glad that we waited a month to talk about it. There's been a lot, like since this drop. You know, people feel certain ways about it. You know, everybody don't like the album.
Yeah.
He got a lot of heat for some of the things he talked about on the album. We'll get into later. But all like the hype has died down. All that. So we was able to kind of like, I could come in a month later and like see how I really feel. I'll say my first listen, I was all over the place. I was like, yo, I don't know what direction this nigga going in. like, okay, boom, this shit hard. It's cool. But it's like, okay, it's like a build-up. It's like almost like you'll watch a movie and be like, I don't know what's going on in the movie. And then once you figure out, yo, that shit was so hard. When Mother I Sober came on, that was the moment for me on my first listen. And then I've been living with it over the last month, obviously, as I'm sure y'all know. And
So you understand like what Kendrick was doing, like what he was going for as a body of work.
I do, yeah. When I the
What
first
was
listen,
he going for? I would like to be enlightened.
I feel like I'll get like as I'm talking about it, it'll kind of reveal itself. But so I was like, I've been going back and forth about how I feel about his whole discography, his body of work. This is his best album, bro.
Think so?
This is his best album. This is his best album.
Hold on.
I'm jumping out there, and it's hard to say that about Kendrick because his discography is bulletproof.
Have you listened to his albums as much as you like actually intentionally sat down and digest this one? All of them?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is
Going all the way back to Section 80?
this is best album. Like this is like
And
he
what?
put in. This is like this album represents to me Kobe dropping 60 in his last game. This represents like Jimmy Butler, Game 5 in the finals, bent over at the score saver. This joint represents the Popeyes that she made on them chicken sandwiches. Exhausted, like bro, he put everything. He put everything he had into this project. Yeah, like he emptied everything. Like, and what's crazy is I went back to listen to some of the albums after I heard this one, and those albums sound better than they did before this new one dropped.
Really?
Because
What made it sound better though? You think
it's so much context that you get from this album that when you listen to the like Good Kid, specifically Damn, I listen to Damn.
I like
Damn.
Damn.
Sound way better.
I think that's my
after
favorite Kendrick
listening
album.
I mean, you can't go wrong picking any of his albums. Like before this, and I mean, I may change my mind again, but To Pimp a Butterfly was my favorite Kendrick album.
Yeah,
Or no, Good Kid was my favorite Kendrick album. To Pimp a Butterfly was his best. It's a difference to me.
But now you think that this
Right now, I think this one's the best, just because
And your
the
favorite.
content and I don't know, my favorite's still up for debate.
Okay.
But like just everything he talked about on this project, like
what makes an album like, in your eyes, what makes something like the best album? Like when you say this album is better than that album, like outside of like the bars and like how it sounds, like.
I mean, you know, I'm a sucker for like honesty and like rawness.
So you like
and
transparency
realness.
in music.
And not to say that he ain't been transparent before, but like he took it to another level. Like I look at this like 444 on steroids in a way, because there ain't nothing that I don't think he was afraid to go anywhere. He even name dropped more than I ever heard him name drop on this album. So I think when he was like writing his music, it was like however he was feeling, he wasn't sugarcoating nothing. Like when Kanye got back with Drake, I was slightly confused. Guess I'm not mature as I was thinking. Got some healing to do. Like probably in his previous albums, he wasn't like, I don't need to name it. He was like, nah, this one I'm feeling. I'm about to
I can
pen
respect
in the pad
that.
and get that shit off. So
I appreciate that.
I
like,
respect that.
I think overall, like I think on this album, he's basically bearing his soul. Like he got a song like Saviors. He's saying, I'm not your savior, I'm this, that, and the third. And he's showing you why I'm not your savior, because I done did this, I done did this. Y'all may not know, but this is how I looked at things. Auntie Diaries, you know, coming out and just explicitly saying the word. I don't know if he had to say it, but then when you listen to the last line and he ties it together the way he does, it's like that's his art, bro.
Yeah,
so he got to put it out how he wants. He didn't sugarcoat any emotion on this album.
When you explain it that way, it actually made me want to go back.
I was thinking the same thing.
Straight up.
Yeah,
like,
well.
Because it's like now I don't have to do the work to figure out what he was talking about. So you just cheated for me.
I literally been listening to that joint.
Yeah.
I mean, y'all know me. I've been living with it. Like,
Not only that, but you probably been listening to a lot of other people analyze the songs and like glean from their like understanding. Have you?
a lot of I've seen some, but I don't necessarily agree with everybody. I don't feel like a lot of people looked at the album the way I looked at it. I mean, some people did, obviously, but
That's interesting. You should record like your own personal like breakdown of the album.
I mean, shoot, we're talking about it right now.
Yeah, facts.
But no, I just like, and then like you could catch some things like it almost like the tracks almost mirror each other as well. Like the interludes kind of mirror each other. The type of vibe kind of mirrors each other from the first part to the second part. Man, that shit is just, it's amazing,
It's
bro.
a masterpiece.
Like it's a masterpiece. I heard Punch say on a podcast, that's the president of TDE.
Yeah.
He had said, before this album came out, he said, Damn was a blockbuster. He said, Good Kid, Mad City was just a classic. He said, The Pimp a Butterfly was a masterpiece. This shit is just like I still ain't been able to like find the word to like categorize it in that. But it's like, it stands on its own. And to me, it's why Kendrick is like a one-on-one. Like you can't compare nobody to him.
He's definitely a one-on-one.
Like
for sure.
For me, that's the type of music I enjoy. Like when I listen to Certified Lover Boy, like the first listen, it was like, yo, this joint fire. But after that, it's like, all right, Drake just does what he always does.
What he does.
Like,
yeah.
From artists, like from the artists that I enjoy, that I like, I want to see growth. I want to see like you trying something different, taking risks, you know, getting in the pockets you ain't never gotten to before. And
Taking notes when I drop my shit.
but nah, he like that's why how I feel like most rewarded as a Kendrick fan, because going into an album, I'll never know what I'm gonna get. Like, you don't never know what type of sound, especially since To Pimp a Butterfly dropped. Because when To Pimp a Butterfly first came out and I heard it, I got the same feeling. I'm like, yo, like, what is all this shit? Like, I don't, what's this jazz shit, nigga? Where the bops at? Like, but then like, after you finish it and you go back, like you get rid of the expectations that you had of it going into the first listen afterward.
You get like the opposite feeling you get with Kendrick as you do with like Steph Curry. Like when he shoot a three, you just assume it's gonna go in. When Kendrick drops something, it is like, I don't know what you're going. Like when he dropped that joint with Baby King, I was like, what?
Family Ties?
This garbage. That song's still garbage.
That joint won a Grammy, right?
It did.
They won a Grammy?
Yeah, that joint won a Grammy.
Wow. But man, I still like, it was like, what is this?
But,
and then
New flows, come and be patient, brother.
But what's crazy about that song though is because he says, what did he say on there? He said, he was talking about like basically being like the savior of rap type shit, like the Elohim, the rebirth. Before you get to the Father, you gotta have me first. Like, and it's almost like.
Do you think that's tied into his album somehow?
No, I think he kind of was like an exact opposite on the album than he was a lot of his previous work. Because even like if you listen to Heart Part 4, he starts it. He says, this is just off the top of my head. He's something about rhyme savior. He's talking about being the rap savior on Heart Part 4. He's talked about it in all his previous work. So, and it's crazy when on Crown, he's talking about Heavy's the head that chose to wear the crown. He chose to wear that crown, and he's like, all right, I see what it's like to wear it. I don't want this shit no more.
Damn, I gotta go back to that shit.
Wait, Crown was on the new album?
Crown is
He's
it's
like
after
talking
coming
on
out.
that shit, right?
It's right.
See what I wanted to do.
Okay,
we got here too late. I wanted us to sit down and all listen to the album.
That's why I was trying to play it.
Yeah, listen to it, just like get fresh ears and then come in and talk about it. But
I mean, we all had enough time to listen to it. You know, well, you know.
Yeah, that is, to me, that's his best album, and it's hard, like because you can pick. To me, you can pick any given album of his, starting from Good Kid, Mad City. Some people even like Section 80 the best, but I feel like if you pick any of them 4 albums, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
Like that nigga, he's just bulletproof with this shit, bro. He's
I'm probably gonna really like it. Like I didn't like To Pimp a Butterfly until like, I don't know, I might be like 12 months behind on music. I ain't listened to that until like all the way through until like I don't know, I like 8-12 months afterwards. And actually like it. Same thing with Good Kid, Mad City. I still haven't listened to Section 80 all the way through.
Wow.
But watch, when I turn 50, I'm gonna text you. I'm like, man, Section 80, go crazy.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna lie. I get, like I said, I mean, we've talked about it, you know, multiple times up at this point now, where it's like, you know, you gotta like be in a mindset to listen to certain things sometimes, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And sometimes music, like Fantasia been trying to get me to the song by Coda. She was trying to get me to listen to the song by Coda called Bitter. Yeah. And so she would text me and she'd be like, have you listened to Bitter yet? Probably for like 2 weeks straight. Every other day. And I hadn't listened to it. And then one day I just had a playlist going and the song came on.
You listened?
I didn't even know though. I was listening to it on repeat for 2 days straight. And I was like, hold on, what song is this?
That's the best song. I don't know if y'all know who did Coda the Friend. Man, listen to
I've
him.
heard of him,
Listen,
but
that's
I've
the
heard,
best song
I
on
think
the
I heard a couple
album.
songs, but I haven't.
Man, that song go hard. But I think that if I had listened to that song with the expectation she was putting on it for me, then I probably wouldn't have enjoyed
Received
it
it
as
the
much.
same way.
Right.
Yeah. So like, I don't know. I think music for me.
And sometimes it be like that too.
I listened to that song with
like
no
everybody
expectation.
that I fuck with, obviously they know how big of a Kendrick fan I am. So I put when the album drop, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I don't want nobody hitting me about nothing. I want to be able to listen to the album without any sort of influence.
You
or
stayed
opinions.
up like all night listening to that?
Yeah.
Well,
I
it was
feel
like an
like
hour and a
I was
half, 2
doing
hours?
something. I feel like I had something going on the next day that I had to stay up for anyway. But yeah, as soon as midnight dropped.
But it didn't drop exactly at midnight. It dropped at like 12:08.
This nigga here.
Yeah, I got it at like 12:02, 12:03, something like that.
Cause I was looking.
But yeah, like, and then Father Time.
Yeah, that joint.
I still haven't listened to that.
You ain't heard of Father
Really?
Time? You heard Father Time for sure.
You've heard from
I mean, okay, I probably heard it, but I
you
haven't
haven't
I haven't listened to it. Yeah.
Man,
I'm gonna go back. It's gonna be like 2 months from now. I'm gonna be listening to like Rap Caviar or something. The song gonna come on, and I'm gonna keep on repeating it. And I'm like, hold on. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, man, from top to bottom, like, that nigga did that shit. Yeah. It's a lot of people that don't like it. You know.
Probably people that don't have time to like sit down and digest the music.
Some people don't like music for that. Like they don't go to
Some people
music
just
for
like
that.
turn up music, to be honest. You know what I mean?
But to me, that's his best album.
I mean, I don't think like he kind of created a new category of art, like for real, like because music historically, like if you think about like jazz music, even like any genre of music, like it's music that gets you like moving, not necessarily thinking. Even early hip hop, like it was just like petty bars, rapping Duke. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things that are like.
I mean, you got artists like Lupe that you got to sit down and like listen.
Yeah.
See what you're saying, stuff like that too. But I just feel like
I thought Lupe was
Kendrick,
going
like-
to be what Kendrick is.
You said what?
I thought Lupe was going to be what Kendrick is right now.
Right.
Kendrick, man, he just has a way of like painting these pictures. Like it's more than just music. This shit transcends music
It's art.
to me.
It's art.
Like
And I think what it was with this album that kind of like brought it all together for me, it was like, in previous albums, it's not that he doesn't rap about himself because he puts himself in all of his projects, but it's like he's always had like handcuffs on himself when it comes to him expressing himself and like how he feels. And I felt like on this particular album, this was the most honest with himself than he's ever been. And like I said, like I mean, granted, you can hear in the album like certain parts where like it sounds like okay, yeah, you're going through therapy. Like the beginning of Count Me Out, where it starts at session 10, Breakthrough, which is crazy because it's the 10th song on the album. But like you can tell, it's like okay, like you can tell this is meant to be more than just an album. This is more than just a musical experience. Like not only is this, I'm gonna make it to a point to where I'm expressing to you that I went through therapy. I'm going through therapy, and this was like my healing process from point A to point B, or whatever the case may be. He also, like to me, like I said, he just did it in a way to where it almost feels like you're doing it also. Like literally, like I said, I'm literally going through the songs that he's listening to, and I'm just like, it's just certain things where it's just like, okay, I can put myself in what he's talking about. Like. Count Me, and the beautiful thing about Count Me Out, I'm just gonna start it now. Like I was gonna ask y'all, like, what are y'all's like, standout tracks? What like your favorite songs? Why they're your favorite songs, whatever the case may be. I'll just start with Count Me Out for me personally. Favorite song on the album. I play that song. That's probably the only song on my Apple Music now that surpassed like all my baby music lullabies and Coco Melons and shit.
You got past Coco Melon.
I don't think no other songs got by none of my baby shit but that one. Bro.
That shit listen more than Baby Shark.
Like, no, Baby Shark is up out of there for this song, bro. Like,
That's my favorite song too. I don't even understand the song to what it is at its full, like what it's meant to be.
Like, it's
I just like the
like-
Count Me Out part. Like
I feel like
underdog.
that, like you can pinpoint it to where it's like I feel like that is supposed to be representative of like whatever therapy session it was on his journey, where it was like, oh shit, I think I've gotten to the point where I can finally unravel this knot. You know what I'm saying?
That's the
The
right
little-
before
the-
that, his like section
10, breakthrough. And just like, and like, but like you can literally hear it, and it's like it's like from beginning to end. It's like I'm gonna put it in a few ways. It's like it's a continuous thought, but at the same time, it's broken up in a way where it feels like it's chaotic, but it's like it's organized chaos. It makes sense though. Whereas like he's going through, okay, I'm pointing out this here. This was a problem in my life. This was a problem in my life. I lack here because of such and such. And this is the problem. This is the problem. And then it's like, and for all of these reasons, this is why, like, as a person, like, we're not supposed to make it. We're not supposed to, whatever the case may be. But I've gotten to the point now where it's like, yeah, keep counting me out. Please, like, expect me not to make it, and blah, blah, blah. And then he's still asking questions as he's championing himself. Like, bro, like,
Oh, that went over
like
my
when
head.
you was at your lowest, tell me where the hoes was at. When you was at your lowest, tell me where the bros was
Put the
at.
little Shaq joint.
3:30 in the morning, scrolling through the call log.
I just thought
Ain't nothing but the mirror looking for the fall off.
Ain't nothing, man.
Yeah, like you have to realize, like, there may be times where, for me, where it's
try
like,
to say you
okay,
talking about
if you're up late in the morning, you're by yourself, you're in the bed, you ain't got no shorty next to you, your homies doing whatever they doing,
late in the morning.
early in the morning, whatever, however you want to call it, you know what I meant. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, when there's nobody left but you and your thoughts.
Yeah.
And then it's like, damn, if you want to talk to somebody about it, or if you want to,
That's the mirror?
You know what I'm
Waiting for it
saying?
to fall off?
No, the mirror is like the fact, like you're looking at your phone,
Reflection.
You know, you could be texting a shorty, "Hey, you up?" You might be texting your homies, "Hey, man, you know, come match with me or something," or you can't and ain't nobody replying back. You could turn your phone off, but like that reflection is always there.
Oh, I see.
And then it's like when you're looking for the fall off, it's like, okay, so when you're gonna get to the point where you kind of like realize, okay, something gotta change, or you know what I'm saying? It's just like,
Oh, I see. And then it proceeds.
or like, you know, once you get to the point where it's like, okay, you realize that outside of everything else, there's still just you.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Like it's just like he, and that's not the only song. That's just my favorite one. But it's like he does that with pretty much almost every single track on that album.
I took that bar for face value. I really did.
Face value.
I really did.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's the beauty. And that is the beauty of this album to me.
It at face value.
You can enjoy it at face value, but like I said, that's why I said Kendrick put that album in a way in which if you're really tuned in and listening, you can really immerse yourself and put yourself in that album, and kind of like in certain places where you feel like he's healing himself or expressing himself to the point where he's like talking to a therapist trying to figure out certain things. You're almost putting yourself in a point where you're putting yourself on that same red couch, and you're like naturally just working through your own stuff in your head. Not saying that like serves as like a psychiatrist or nothing like that, but like that's just kind of the mood it puts you in.
Yeah.
So while I can understand why somebody wouldn't want to be like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and listen to this Kendrick album because I don't have the time for myself to put myself in that mental space to want to listen to it. Like if you really just go into it with an open ear and an open mind, like as you get to like that third, that fourth, especially once you get to Father Time, like you're just gonna be there.
Yeah,
like it's not something you're gonna have to like want to go into that album with that mind space. You're gonna enter that mind space as you're listening to the album.
I ain't got time for that mind space. I'm like Shiloh, who was talking about that slutty vegan. I was like, man, bro. I was like, we was talking about food. He was like, man, I eat for the taste. He said, if it tastes good, it was good for me. That's how I am about music, boy. I'm here for the bars. That's it.
What's your favorite song? Count me
Count me out. Because of what it is at face value.
Say more than one. What are some other standouts?
All right, so Count Me Out is one. Father Time, of course, for everybody.
I still ain't listening to Father Time.
You know what I'm saying? I like Worldwide Steppers. You know, I love that song. It's, you know, it's upbeat. It's something that you can kind of, like I say, you know, rock to or whatever. Another song that I also got really introspective with was Auntie's Diaries.
Oh yeah.
And it didn't have to even necessarily be because of exactly what he was talking about, which in that particular song, you know, he's talking about, like, you know, he has a couple people in his family who, you know, went through gender changes or, you know, was going through, you know, gender identity situations in their life or whatever. And he was talking about it from his own lens as far as, like, you know, what he saw and, like, you know, how they raised him and, you know, what he learned from them in their growing process. And then at the same time, also, you know, as he's running around with his homies or in school, like, you know, being insensitive to people running the word or running the word, you know, just these other derogatory terms that you're not supposed to be saying, you know, that you shouldn't be saying, you know, because people get offended by it.
Cancel.
And what he was kind of saying is like, yeah, you know, as I was growing up, this is where I was at with it. And even as I had other people in my life close to me going through some of those things, I still wasn't realizing, you know, the how bad, the detriment to my words and stuff like that. And so, like, he ended the song basically where he was like, you know, it's okay, and I'm paraphrasing here, where it's like, you know, it's okay, you know, it's okay for the white girl to say nigga.
I see.
And I think, like, and I'm not gonna say, because I'm not a part of that community.
Yeah.
So those who, you know, got offended by some of the stuff he's saying, you know, I feel it. I mean, but that's, to me, I mean, that's Kendrick's art, and it's like his way of, like, I think he made the song flawed in that way on purpose, like, because, like I said, when he was writing this album, he was just raw and honest about everything. He wasn't sugarcoating nothing. So when he came with his perspective, like, yo, this is how I looked at it. I used to say this word. And he's like misgendering through the whole song, which I didn't even know that he did until
Misgendering?
Right, I didn't even, I found out what that was.
What is
this
it?
song?
What is
I guess Auntie Diaries when he's really his uncle now.
Oh, it's a trans person.
Right.
Didn't know that.
So yeah, I didn't have no idea. I was like,
should've
this
been
gender. I was
Uncle
like, why
Diaries.
people mad? Like, what's this? But like, even though like they're mad, like, well, they're mad. They got a right to be mad. People from our side of the spectrum are learning more. And I was talking to Shiloh and some people about it maybe like a week or two ago. Like when you're like teaching a class, you're not gonna be focused on the student who has everything down pat and is learning and is ready to move on to the next thing. That's that community in terms of, you know, what he's talking about in the song. Like y'all already got it. Like y'all are one of them. So we know you guys have an understanding of how things should be said, how things shouldn't be said, so on and so forth. But in the classroom, you're gonna focus on the people who don't understand.
So you can catch them up.
So you can catch them up. And in the process, you're gonna relate to them in a way.
So do y'all think that y'all walked away from that song with a different perspective or appreciation or sensitivity to LGBTQ plus IA?
That was already developing.
I used to do hip hop dance and stuff, so I've been around people, and they're all they're people just like the rest of us. But what I will say is I do enjoy the fact that he was not afraid to bring that conversation out in that album.
Right, and even though it came across as flawed to a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? I feel like it's a conversation starter. He may have missed the mark to that community, but to the people who need to be educated and to be better at treating that community equally and with respect, I feel like he hit the nail on the head. Yeah. Like, because I would probably misgender somebody without even knowing it.
For sure.
Talking about a situation like this.
Mispronouns.
But like it kind of like, it's like, oh, okay, so that's a problem. And he may not even have intentionally did it. You know what I'm saying? He might have just been singing a song.
But I think that's what's so beautiful about it. Because if it was unintentional, then that makes it more authentic to wherever he was when he wrote it.
And then on top of that, it's like in the way that he did it, there's gonna be many, many people that relate to it because they do the exact same thing. Like if he would have tried to sugarcoat it in the song, in a way in which, okay, like I'm still trying to get, try to portray and say the same message without being as blatantly, as blatant as this. Right. Like the people who are out there doing it wouldn't be able to resonate with it because they're out there, actually being derogatory or saying those things. So it's like, it's gonna catch their ears because it's like, oh, this is how I talk.
Or how I used to talk.
And then as you listen, it's like, okay, if you pick up on it the right way, okay, maybe this isn't okay. And I see why from Kendrick's perspective, why this isn't okay. And there may be a way in which I can be like, okay, if you went through this, I went through something similar.
So do y'all feel like what he was teaching should be like, is that like his perspective or do y'all think that people should take his perspective and approach to that conversation?
I'll sum it up by something he said on Mr. Morale. He said, I'm sacrificing myself to start the healing. So however we take this, like he putting himself on Front Street so that
the conversation can be had.
Conversation can be had, healing can come from it. He'll fall on the sword. So I think however we take it should start from there.
I think that's interesting. That kind of galvanizes me in a sense to like fall on my own sword and like just for him, like as authentically as he wrote that song, to be bold about some of the opinions that we have that might be seen as controversial or whatever. But like if we feel like healing needs to come from whatever it is we think, and it's like shit, say it and fall on your sword. Right. Maybe that's what he was doing. Maybe he was inspiring everybody to just, you know what I'm saying?
I think to me it's like, how you can be in a room full of people, everybody will have the same question, but will nobody raise their hand to ask it. And I feel like he's like, okay, somebody needs to ask this goddamn question. So let me go ahead and raise my hand and step out there, and hopefully other people will kind of become brave enough and become confident enough to step into that same truth and be like, you know what? I had the same question, and not wanting to be ostracized, reprimanded, or talked down upon, because it's like some people are going strictly just for information, wanting to be knowledgeable. Some people actually have questions. Some people, or some people just need to know that y'all wrong as shit. But it's like, regardless of what it is, somebody needs to take that step forward to be like, hey, this needs to be addressed. And I think
I was never the person that asked the question. I was waiting, or I was gonna die on my sword.
That's how it is.
Fail the test.
And there's almost naturally nothing wrong with that too, because we're all we're as humans we're bred.
There is something wrong with that, man.
It is, but it isn't, because at the end of the day, as humans and just as animals in general, like we're gonna do what we have to do to maintain survival.
Self-preservation.
Exactly. And regardless of how you look at what that is, even image is part of it.
That's a good point.
And so, people are gonna do what they have to do to make sure they look their best in every facet just to make sure that they can, again, self-preserve.
My niggas don't be posting on the ground.
I forgot what I was about to say, but it was important too.
Say it.
But I think it's like, I'm trying to remember. Hopefully I remember. What happened? What I missed? What I missed?
Nah, you said you forgot what
He
you
said,
had
yeah, I had
to
something more to say. I forgot though. He said, say it.
say. like, nigga, he forgot.
Yeah, that's awesome though. But like, I think it's an overarching theme, like in the album, like him, like he even said like on N95, said, I'm sorry, something about critic that ain't protocol. You worry about a critic that ain't protocol. Like he made this album like I said earlier, like it's raw and it's true and as honest as he could possibly make it. And he didn't make this album for critics to rave and make it critically acclaimed and all that. He made it to like, yeah, I'm pointing this stuff out that I feel is wrong with society, but I'm not about to do that without, as I'm saying these things, I'm pointing out my flaws too.
Right.
I'm falling on the sword too. Like he talks about like on Worldwide Steppers, and like actually he talked about it on United in Grief too, his infidelity and stuff like that. Like, and he get like, you don't expect that nigga to be specific. That word be beating my ass every time.
A compilation together.
Beep, beep.
Every time Drew says
Yeah. But yeah, he was talking about the white bitches he fucked.
Yeah.
Like
he was talking about his music?
he said on Worldwide Steppers.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dr. Lamar would be ashamed.
That's the new me. Like whenever somebody sees somebody with a white girl, they say Worldwide Steppers. Matter of fact, they saw Dr. Umar with a white girl.
Right, damn.
Yeah, but like,
Oh wow, that's crazy.
yeah. So like the overarching thing to me is just like, look, man, this is who I am.
Yeah.
And he said it on Mortal Man back to Butterfly. Like it's when shit hit the fan, is you still a fan?
Yeah.
Like I don't want y'all to make no mistakes about who I am going forward.
Right.
This is who I am right here. And y'all gonna take it or leave it. But I'm not about to sit here and keep trying to, and not to say that he didn't do it, like he would sprinkle in like certain things, like if you listen to his music, I'm pretty sure, matter of fact, I don't even want to say that, I ain't trying to put no case on that nigga. When I turn the camera off, y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, like he'll sprinkle in like in his previous projects, like certain transgressions, so on and so forth. But like on this album, he was like, I did this, I did this. These things affected me. And he just got into like specific details. And like, I think we're gonna look at transparency and honesty in music way differently. We're gonna look at it way differently now after this album because like, I feel like this album set the bar as far as that. And 444, I listened to that earlier today just because I was thinking like, it reminds me of that, like, but Jay-Z like was on that level of transparent. I just feel like Kendrick took it up a notch. Like, not to say that Jay-Z didn't get into specifics because he did.
Storytelling.
Yeah, but this nigga Kendrick just like, he just beefed it up. Like I said, like, take it or leave it. This is me going forward. Now, y'all know who I am now. I'm not perfect. Y'all thought I was loyal to my girl. I've been fucking bitches on tour. Straight up. It was like, and even like, it's crazy. On Worldwide Steppers, we talking about, I caught a couple bodies myself, slid my community. Last Christmas tour down in Compton, handed out eulogies. Not because the rags on the park had rate gradient, but because the high blood pressure flooded the catering. So, like, this nigga is too ill, bro. Like, you talking about like, oh, y'all, and it's almost like, so you talk about the shooting in Texas. So you can look at the nigga who did the shooting and killed 18 people. He's a killer for sure. And, you know, he got off, whatever, peace out. But the lawmakers that's letting these laws stay in place and still defending them. Look at them niggas as killers too.
Still defending the shooter.
Look at them more so as killers than the person who was able to actually do the crime.
They just operate in the system
that's what that song
that
points out to me, Worldwide Steppers.
They just operate in a system
I'm a killer,
that
he's a killer, she's a killer bitch.
Yeah, I think I have heard that one.
Man, what's your favorites?
I'll try to be quick. I'm gonna go with Father Time. I'm gonna go with Count Me Out. I'm gonna go with Mother I Sober. Honorable mention, Worldwide Steppers, and We Cry Together. For sure.
We try to get it hard.
Mine are, man, right now, N95 my favorite.
That joint hard too.
Okay.
N95 my favorite right now. Like my favorite song. The best song to me, period, on the album is always gonna be Mother I Sober.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because even on the first listen and going forward, that's the one that
Dog,
made
right.
everything make sense.
He
to
brought
me.
everything together.
He
with
brought
that one.
everything together with Mother I Sober. He explained like everything. So that's the best song. And like just the performance on that song was just like amazing. Like the way he started out, built up, and then used like his voice as an instrument to like just amp it up. Like
Yeah,
that
that's dope.
shit's so ill. So Mother I Sober, N95, Father Time, Rich Spirit is one of my favorites right now.
Rich Spirit is my
Rich
favorite.
Spirit, one
That's
of my
up
favorites.
there too.
But it keeps changing, like, cause probably last week or so, Savior was one of my favorites.
Savior.
Count
That
Me
too,
Out, one of my
for sure.
favorites.
All the songs have been your favorite
Silent-
at some point.
Rich Spirit and
Bro,
Count Me
like-
Out have been in my top 3
Yeah,
from the first time I listened to it till now.
yeah, Rich Spirit is that shit.
Me out.
That's one of them. It's an easy listen if you know.
Is that later in the track, later in the album?
No, Rich Spirit's in the first half.
Rich nigga, broke
Yeah.
phone.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
so staying strong.
I'm attracted.
Stop
That one?
playing with me before
Okay,
I turn you to
yeah.
a song.
Yeah, that shit.
Playing with me.
That
Oh,
joint.
shit.
Yeah, man. And I'm even like United in Grief is starting to creep up there to me too. Like,
How many times have you listened to the album?
bro, nah,
A lot.
stop, nigga.
Non-stop?
Nah, stop.
I was gonna ask you, and I wanted to save it before we start recording. Have you listened to anybody else since Kendrick dropped?
Well, I just listened to 444
Yeah,
today.
you said that.
I tried to go back to CLB, but I turned that shit off after like 3 songs.
Yeah,
Because it's not doing nothing for me no more.
yeah. Honestly, the only song I could listen off of that, or this might be 2 songs, is whatever the last song was, Remorse or something.
I listened to
And
Brittle Pad.
That joint hard and Brittle Pad.
I listened to Brittle Pad
Them
today.
two. I go back to that all the time.
I listened to quite a few songs off that album.
I listened to some other stuff like here and there, but it's been predominantly Kendrick, bro. Like I've been waiting 5 years for this nigga to drop. So
Yeah, bro.
This
Well,
nigga, this nigga
I'll
was.
take that back. I ain't gonna say I waited 5 years because I wasn't expecting him to drop anything.
He got impatient.
He did the soundtrack, but I wasn't expecting it. After like halfway through 2020, I was like, all right, where this nigga at?
This nigga hopped in the inbox, hyping shit. Hey y'all, Kendrick's about to drop. Kendrick's dropping. We got Isaiah Rashad. This nigga, like, hey bro.
This nigga, yeah, girl. You jumped at all the pump fake.
Nah, but this is his best album.
Quick,
Put it
I got
out
a
there.
random question. How do y'all feel? Well, really, because you wouldn't really know for real. About Kodak Black's presence on that album.
That's a great question.
As an
Honestly,
abuser?
Huh?
As an abuser?
That's not where I was going with that. No.
I forgot we gotta be careful.
No,
with
we
this,
can address that too,
Follow
but
your sword.
that's not what I was talking about. No, just his musical,
it was
and
intentional.
just his contribution to that album. How do y'all feel
It
about it?
was intentional. I mean, I could have did without it, but I'm not mad at it. Like I don't think it took away from anything. I saw somebody say that if XXXTentacion was still alive, he would have used him instead of Kodak Black, and I think that's true. I remember Kendrick tweeting out his project before. But yeah, I don't think it took away from the album. I could have did without it. I didn't, I'm not tripping on Kodak Black, to be honest with you. But I mean, I think it was cool, like for him to like give, Kodak a look, and then also, Kodak been in a lot of legal trouble for so on and so forth. So that's another thing Kendrick did with the project. Like, look, I ain't no different than this nigga. Like, y'all look at me like I am, but I'm not. Not to say that, he did some of the things that Kodak was accused of, but he probably done some other things that Kodak ain't do. So, like, y'all stop looking at, that's the thing. We look at, that's why I talk about cancel culture so much in this album too. We look at certain people as if they're better or worse. Like we look at certain people like as our saviors, and then we look at people and we demonize them. But if we were to turn around and bare our soul on anything publicly, like Kendrick did on this album, how would people look at you? And that's what I was trying to say as far as like the overarching thing. Like we're like I said, we all killers. We all killers in one way or another. We all have transgressions that if we were to let people know publicly, then I mean, you know what I mean.
As brave as Kendrick.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even like the simplest shit. we wouldn't want to put out there to let people know.
I'm putting that shit out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you doing it now.
You can do that, but if you didn't put it in a song, would you get on IG Live and say that shit?
Just say it straight up. Ain't no good beats going with that. You just straight you get.
Nigga, that shit ain't getting
pull
no
it-
spins,
You
nigga.
pull up to the table like Kobe and Kobe. Straight up. Ain't no good harmonies going
Man,
with
if you
it.
can admit to cheating on your wife and make it sound good, you straight.
Yeah.
Kendrick and Jay-Z did it.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's the biggest theme of the album to me, is stop looking down upon or up towards anybody.
Yeah,
we all on the same level playing field. None of us are perfect. All of us have done wrong. Stop. My baby crying. But yeah, like, don't get rid of that thought that you better or worse than anybody. That's the biggest like takeaway from this album.
And that's what I appreciated about his placement on the album also. It was kind of like Kendrick is very astute and cognizant of how he's looked at in the public. Astute, A-S-T.
Wait, hold on. I asked him what it meant, but he's about to ask one of y'all.
Nah, I was just gonna smile, bro.
Wait, so
Like, I know how to use it. I know how to use it in a sentence.
This is we was just talking about that shit, man. We was just talking about raise your hand if you had a question.
I mean, I know how to use it in a sentence. Like, you're an astute businessman. It's
Yeah,
almost
but
like
what does it mean?
I feel like it's like focus, like attention to detail. You know what's going on. Like you're aware, you're
Context
smart,
clues.
you're educated on what you're about to talk about.
See, you was just gonna let that shit ride.
Was I right?
Yeah, basically. Context clues, yeah. Basically, like,
context
you're
clues, too.
extremely knowledgeable about your craft, basically.
Right.
I need to know.
But yeah, but it's like he's very aware of how people like perceive him and see him in the culture. And to a degree, I feel like he was able to use, not really use, I'm not saying like he used Kodak, but Kodak was able to kind of like be that voice of that side of himself that other people don't really see intentionally, if you know if that makes sense. You know, like I said, we all have our flaws, our, I guess, quote unquote demons, whatever you want to call them. Like you know, we all have that side of the yang to our yin, or the yin to our yang, which I forgot which one. The yin is evil, the yang is positive, I think. So, you know, the yin part of ourselves, like, we all have that. And I think, in a way, Kendrick had Kodak narrate that side of him to a degree. Or some of those, like, concerns and insecurities and stuff like that. Him using Kodak's voice as opposed to, like, using himself, or, you know, people would have used like maybe some other well-known figure. Now he used somebody that was on the come up in the music industry. Cause like I even listened to his last project. Y'all know I don't really drift off too much as far as like some of the new school people. Kodak's album's pretty good. I enjoy him. I enjoyed his album. It was pretty solid. And
I'll take back what I said. Now that you kind of give your perspective on why he used Kodak.
yeah, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, it was intentional, but like
Yeah, I know it was intentional.
that's how I gleaned it, where it was just like, okay, it's like, you know, Kendrick put himself in a position where it's like, hey, look, this is me growing. This is, you know, I went through this. I'm telling you this, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, let me kind of give y'all a way to better relate to those parts of myself that I don't really tap into through my career, because y'all know me as this. Here's Kodak, boom. And it's like, he still delivered it in a way where it was like, okay, we know this is Kodak, but it's like, it's still blended perfectly through the album.
Like it when I'm pro-black, but I'm more Kodak black.
Like, you feel, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it fit perfect. Like, Kodak's placement was perfect on the album. His feature on Silent Hill, I enjoyed. Like, I think, like, I enjoyed, like, if it was XXXTentacion, like, you know, another rapper I'd never listened to, and after, you know, R.I.P. and all that, but I still never went back and listened to him. And, like, if he...
I believe it.
Okay. And, you know, had he used him also, I would have probably gleaned it in the exact same way.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I enjoyed it. I forget, somebody else did something similar. I can't think of it off the top of my head. If it comes to me, I'll say it, but...
Did he have any other features? Other than that girl that he was cussing out?
Sampha, Summer Walker, and Ghostface.
Ghostface. He was the only other rap verse besides Kodak.
Man, Man, what you got to do to get on Kendrick?
He had his girl all up and through the album.
Really?
I ain't never heard him reference his girl's name as much.
Really?
And that actress too. I forgot that
She was
actress
on
name.
the album,
Taylor
like
Page.
talking?
Taylor Page.
Yeah,
Taylor
she
Page.
was narrating.
I love that.
So Kodak was narrating, his girl was narrating, and the therapist or Eckhart Tolle, whatever. I wasn't too familiar with him before this, but apparently he has like a following and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But those three were narrating the album, and I love that he put his girl Whitney. He put her on there. Like I said, like he wasn't holding back with the pen at all. So he referenced her several times throughout the album, and it makes sense why she's on the album cover too. And his 2 kids. I didn't even know he had 2 kids until the album cover.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he ain't had nobody like Pusha T to expose him.
I just think he did, like, you know, how Lance says all the time, like when he talks about his music and, you know, putting, you know, being completely open and honest in his music. And, you know, that's how an artist, he says all the time, you know, artists express themselves through their music. And it's like, Kendrick did that and then upped it a level to me. Where it was like, okay, not only am I going to express myself, I'm going to express how I found myself. And I don't think a lot of people do that.
Right.
Where it's like, okay, I'm showing y'all the finished product. Nah, I'm gonna show y'all the processes, the steps it took. I'm gonna give y'all the manual that I had to create to get to my final product.
This nigga's a genius.
And a lot of people, like I said, don't break it down in that manner.
He said in a Breakfast Club interview before To Pimp a Butterfly came out, that nigga was like, he said, I got a plan that people will see it, whether it's his next album or another one. He's like, but before I'm done with this, y'all gonna see that boy, he gonna do something that nobody else has done in music. And for me, that nigga's doing that. Like, ain't nobody like him in the game, bro. Like, nothing even sounds like this album. Like, this nigga is, man, like, listen to the album.
I'm gonna listen
to that joint.
After hearing y'all's, you know, thoughts on the album, I didn't do my due diligence.
Hey, it's all good, bro.
You know what I mean? I gotta go back and listen. But I appreciate y'all, because now I could go back and, you know, with the words that you guys said, you know, I could listen to it. And
you just gotta.
I had a lot of people was like, they go into music, I don't got time to try to listen to it, but he's my favorite rapper, so I'm gonna put the time in to figure out what he's talking about.
I try to listen sometimes, but it's kind of like, I guess it's kind of like school for me sometimes. Like when I'm in class or something, I'll read the text and then I come in class and then other people would have their like perspectives and thoughts on the text, and I realize I ain't really, I don't really know shit. You know what I mean? So now, like, I heard the album, I try to listen to it, try to dissect it. You know, I thought I, had my own perspective. I listened to y'all, and it's like, damn, I gotta go back to this shit and fully like.
So your perspective was that you don't really care to listen to it over and over again like that. Was that it, or what was your perspective?
My perspective was it's a great album. You know what I'm saying? It's cohesive.
He just did it.
It's a story. He's telling stories. You know what I mean? It's an amazing album.
He didn't pick up on everything y'all picked up on.
Absolutely not.
Right, and
a lot of what y'all picked up on, I didn't pick up on. You know what I mean? But again,
it's a lot I still ain't picked up
for what
on.
y'all said, because I could go back and listen to it, and I could appreciate Kendrick, man, because as an artist myself, like, I'm challenged to go back and try to make the best music that I can make.
And that's what's dope about Kendrick to me too. Like, I mean, I made the comparison as far as like, Drake, he'll just make the same type of music. Yeah. And he has a formula, and I've heard him say that he sticks to that for a reason. Like, he has an audience who expects him to make this type of music, and he wants to deliver that. So that's his place in the game. Like, that's what he wants to do. Mm-hmm. So I respect that. And shit, he just signed a $400 million deal.
Did he really?
Something like that, yeah. So what he's doing is working. Salute to that. But what I enjoy music is what Kendrick represents. Like, look, y'all got the Drakes, y'all got, the Big Seans, y'all got the people you can, listen to and enjoy music. And I got some of that too, but I'm putting medicine in the candy over here, you feel me? Like, I ain't in this shit just to make music of right now. Mm-hmm. I'm in this shit to, like I said, do some shit nobody else has ever done. Mm-hmm. I'm over here trying to transcend this shit and let niggas know, like, I'm here, I'm entrenched in this shit for years to come. Like, y'all gonna run, like, they already have classes on, like, To Pimp a Butterfly, and Damn got a Pulitzer Prize. Ain't no type of music outside of jazz or anything even got a Pulitzer Prize. And Damn is what y'all think is his most accessible album. But the writing on that shit is so, like, precise and deep. Like, niggas sleep on the shit that he was talking about because he wanted the sound to be, you could hear it in the club, you could hear it in the car, so on and so forth. Like, he intentionally did that too. But with this album, he had a message he wanted to send, and what he like going through repeated listens, like the soundscape of the album matches the content.
I was just about to say, bro.
That's what I appreciate about it. And you know, for me, like whenever I'm listening to music, I have a rap ear, so I want to listen to rap shit, like shit like Damn, like that. That's one. So Good Kid and Damn, first listen, I was like, oh, these shits is amazing. These two, Spit Butterfly and this one, took a little more time, but these two are my favorites. Or those are his best, and I appreciate those the most. Like, I think Good Kid, he was just like, I'm about to make like the most classic rap shit. Boom, here I go. Spit Butterfly is like, yo, I'm about to make some revolutionary shit that's gonna last, stand the test of time.
Different sound.
Boom, give you that. Damn, oh, I'm about to hit these niggas upside the head with some rap shit. Boom. And this right here, to me, is his most important album. People gonna go back to this one, and they're gonna be able to look at it and just be like, yeah, that shit was crucial. Like, this nigga's discography is bulletproof.
That should be an inspiration to all of us, really.
Yeah,
I mean, to let your authenticity flow through your craft.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, like, you do that with your music, but shit, you do that, you know what I'm saying? You got a mission statement on your brand, on your shirt. You know what
So
I'm
even
saying?
further than that, it's just, you know, encourage working towards your better self at all times.
Yeah.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like the openness and honesty that he approached with this album is inspiring to the point where it's like, like, I mean, how many of us will sit here, like, even, like, you know, before, I think it's a lot more tolerated nowadays, but before, you know, even a few years ago, someone would say, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to therapy. How you looking at them? Yeah. Like, people, like, you know, say therapy was more of a taboo, I guess, if you want to call it that, in culture, because it's like, people's like, okay, that means you're crazy, or that means you got something, like, you know what I'm saying? Now it's a little more tolerated, but the way you formulated and put it on this album is like, dang, it's like, not only are you telling us, it's like, you had to go to therapy, you had, you know, yeah, you're the celebrity, but you had regular human shit to work out just like the rest of us. You know, you out here cheating just like, you know, the rest of my other niggas. You out here going through, you know, you've got people going through gender problems just like the rest of these people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it brought a human aspect to it, but at the same time, it's like,
it's a master of his craft. Like,
not even, yeah, that too, but it's just like, you know, like I said, you want to do the same for yourself type thing, to me. Because it's like, you know, like I said, when you see somebody out there, just, you know, putting it out there, being brave, it's almost like, okay, so what's my excuse? You know what I'm saying? I think in the way he kind of put it out there, like literally the words he used, even down to like his beat selections, beat switches, like everything is intentional, like very, very intentional.
you can't send Kendrick a beat. Kendrick in there telling you what sounds he wants you to make. Like, if he could produce himself, he's just like, man, I'm focused on this. So I want this to be like this. Drop the beat right here. Change the pattern right here. Like, he's literally like, he's producing his whole shit. Like, you can't just send him a beat and be like, here, rap on this. Nah, you got to. He's in there while you building it.
That's because the beat tells the story just as much as the lyrics do.
Exactly.
Man, it's just.
I forgot who I was
Bulletproof
talking. I was
discography,
talking
man.
to somebody
Bulletproof discography.
recently. We were talking about how, like, when it comes to like certain arts and stuff like that. And one thing I had mentioned was how, like, you know, when it comes to like certain beats, is like, or even like certain lyrics to a song or whatever, is like sometimes like certain things like that, certain combinations can only be perfected one time.
Good Kid, Mad City. You only do that once.
You feel
I was
me?
just about to say, all like that's the thing. Yeah, he
Especially
giving
to
you
Pimp a
something
Butterfly.
different with every project. You can't point to none of his shit and say anything sounds the same.
There's no cookie cutter with his shit.
He's delivered on every single project. He's delivered a different sound. He's delivered an excellent body of work.
So you're saying he's a GOAT?
That nigga's the greatest of all time, bro.
I mean, that's an argument that we.
I mean, that's a different argument. That's how I feel.
He's definitely one of my favorites.
your GOAT.
He's one of my favorites.
He's the GOAT.
Like,
that nigga's the GOAT, bro. Like, niggas ain't going no runs like this, bro. This nigga's the greatest of all time, bro. I'm saying it right now.
What do you think?
I'm not gonna say I'm like this rap historian. I'm not putting like respect to KRS-One and Rakim and all that. And, you know, Run DMC. I could freestyle like Run DMC rap. Straight up, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Respect to them though, because they paved the way.
Pioneers.
And without them rapping like that, we wouldn't have people like this
Nothing.
in our era. So respect to them. But I mean, it's just like basketball. Like, as the game progresses, it's gonna get better.
Could you imagine it getting better than that? Come on, man. Getting better than Kendrick?
I mean, if
It
it's
really
gonna
happen.
Because niggas gonna take what he's doing.
6 man.
Nigga.
Let's go, Lex. Shit. But
This is my moment.
that nigga the GOAT, bro. He the greatest to me. And I'm like, you know, I double back on like all Jay-Z albums and stuff like that. They have the longevity. They have, you know, multiple classes. Jay-Z got like over 10 albums and stuff like that. So obviously Kendrick ain't there in regards to the amount of output he's done. And Kendrick takes a lot of time. But this nigga ain't. This, like, Snoop Dogg got that meme. That motherfucker don't miss. That nigga don't miss, bro.
Yeah.
Motherfucker don't miss.
Yeah,
In
Kendrick
the heat of battle, he don't miss.
Kendrick definitely dropped probably one of the top albums this year so far for me. The only ones I've really gone back and repeated has been this one and Ramona. That's it.
Yeah, Vince. Ramona Part broke my heart. Yeah, that joint was
I'm
fire.
mad we didn't talk about that one either. You know, that's hometown too.
Long Beach, salute Vince Staples.
To that one again.
I ain't listened to none of his songs. On
When
purpose.
Sparks Fly,
When Sparks Fly is my
He
shit.
dropped that before he dropped the album, right?
I heard it with the
I heard it with the album.
Yeah.
I heard it with the album. And
Shout out Vince Staples. You know,
yeah, I fuck with
Coast
Vince.
representing rap real well. You know
And they
what I'm
are,
saying?
man. Because that's probably like the 2000s. It was kind of shaky
just
for
game.
us, bro.
Yeah, we didn't have nobody early. No, we had games. Snoop was still kind of like
Nah, not Snoop. Snoop was in the 90s, bro.
Drop it like it's hot. That nigga took over.
Yeah,
for
that's
a
like
minute.
he had some
Back.
shit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Huh.
He had Sexual Seduction was the early 2000s.
I just don't
He
feel like
had,
I was like
that-
Nah, look, because Lil Wayne was on his shit then.
Yeah, no, so, like Snoop Dogg, like we didn't even
Sexual
disrespect Snoop.
Seduction
Snoop was up there in the early 2000s.
I'm talking about like
But
Snoop wasn't like obviously Snoop.
La-di-da-di.
He's
I'm talking
evolved
about, like,
since you know
Yeah.
Doggy Style was his best.
that's really like
what I'm saying?
What was that 92?
93.
That was his best piece of work, bro.
yeah, for sure. But I mean, he's had others past that. You know, he's had The Last Meal. He's had.
I ain't listened to
Last
that.
Meal was fire.
You feel what I'm saying? Like he's had other shits, and that was
Last Meal, yeah, why- you
yeah.
listen
The
to
Last Meal was crazy.
That shit. That's what.
I remember we
Leno
was listening to it back in the day, bro.
Last Meal, niggas sleep on Last
I'm
Meal.
about to play that in the gym tomorrow.
Yeah.
Last Meal was
Boy.
tough, bro.
But all right, rank y'all Kendrick albums from just the major
Okay, so not counting Section 80.
Don't I mean unless you feel like Section 80 one of
Because
them
I
ones.
like Section 80 is one of
I
them
can't
ones.
answer that question yet because I gotta go back to
Answer it to the best of your ability
Yeah.
right now.
all right. I would say
Best or favorite?
Yeah, that's two different answers for me.
all right. Let's go favorite.
Copy.
Favorite. I'm gonna go down.
I gotta look.
To Pimp a Butter. Down. To Pimp a Butterfly. Mr. Morale.
Ooh, good kid, fourth. Hey, disclaimer. Anything being fourth on this list is no disrespect. Something gotta be
It's
fourth.
literally 1, 2, 3, 4.
Something gotta be fourth.
It is.
Honestly, bro, I really don't know. Like,
Yeah.
I know Damn is probably like my favorite to listen to. Yeah, like I said, Damn, and then To Pimp a Butterfly, Mr. Morale, and I gotta go back and listen to that, so that might jump. You know, either Damn or To Pimp a Butterfly. I don't know. We'll see. And then good kid, I guess. Yeah.
Good kid, boy.
I got Good Kid first, only because that's one of the albums that I listen to all the way through. That I still go back and listen to. The deluxe version with that joint with
That
Dre
joint
on
is
it.
still on the Billboard too. It's been on the Billboard ever
The
since
rest
it
of
dropped.
Really?
Yeah.
So for me, yeah, it's Good Kid. Then I'm gonna go with Damn. Then To Pimp a Butterfly, and then last but not least, Mr. Morale and the Big Stepper.
You heard the whole thing.
Exactly. I mean, I'm just talking
Yeah, just
about.
the best of your ability.
Yeah.
If I always have to say, I'm gonna go. Good Kid, Mad City is gonna be hard to top for me. Yeah. Good Kid, Mad City is my one. Number 2, I honestly will probably go with Morale. 3, I'm gonna go. Okay, so my 3 is tied between Damn and Section 80.
Okay, so you got a two-way tie.
And then TPAB is last, and that's hard to say.
Come on, man. That's my favorite part of the album.
Only reason why I put it last is because it's like as far as ones that I know I can sit and listen from front to back, no skips, which I can listen to all of CPAB too, but it's
got
like
a bone
listen
pick.
to no skips, know I can enjoy it all and all that stuff, I know that TPAB is the last one I'm gonna listen
I
to.
don't know what you motherfucker ass
Like I guess sonically, I guess I'll put it that way.
You know what, Jordan? That might.
But but it's tough because it's like.
Pimp a Butterfly is that shit.
But like I said, if you're telling me what's his best albums, TPAB is not last. So that's why it's like it's hard to say for me.
All right, so
I listen
hard.
to you.
my favorite. I think I have To Pimp a Butterfly. I mean, I have my favorites is Good Kid, Mad City, Damn. I can't pick between those two. Those are both like my favorites. It just depends. But like I said, Damn has become Damn is even better now after hearing Mr.
See,
Morale.
I'm gonna go back and listen to Damn
Yeah,
since you
Damn
said
is
that.
even better now.
I'm gonna go back and
That
listen to
shit
it
is
because I haven't.
crazier for sure.
I'm gonna go back and listen to it.
So those two are like neck and neck. I can't pick. And then I don't really want to put Mr. Morale in the favorites part yet, just because it's still only a month old. So then I'll put To Pimp a Butterfly after that. But as far as the best, it's Mr. Morale 1, To Pimp a Butterfly 2, and then I gotta put something fourth.
You gotta put Good Kid, Mad City if it's the best, because this is earlier body of work.
I can't.
Between Good Kid,
What
Mad
do you
City,
put
and
over
Damn.
Good Kid, Mad under?
I gotta put Good Kid, Mad City third. I gotta put Damn
I
fourth.
can't do
You
that,
put
bro.
Damn fourth?
Good Kid, Mad City.
Fourth best.
Yeah, Good Kid, Mad City.
Okay, you know what?
Good Kid, Mad City.
I'm not mad at that.
It's
I could
put
a
Damn
great
as fourth
project,
best.
bro.
It's definitely not To Pimp a Butterfly.
To Pimp a Butterfly is a masterpiece.
I actually can listen to Pimp a Butterfly all the way through. Like right
I
now.
could listen to all of his
Amazing.
albums all the way through. I could listen to all of them all the way
This
through.
nigga is the best, bro.
That actually might be my favorite, To Pimp a Butterfly.
That shit is
I
fire.
place blame on you still.
Place blame on it. Man.
All right, well look, man.
Yeah, man. Hey.
Yeah.
Charlotte, what up?
It's been real.
Love
Shallow in the
Skig.
building.
Shiloh in the building.
We got a live audience in this bitch.
Early enough to catch
Of
it.
one.
Too late to join. But next time for sure though.
Yeah, we could have used you today.
Yeah, we could have used you.
Shout out
Yeah.
to Lake.
Whole ass thing.
Lake.
Yeah, man. Another episode. We're gonna I'm gonna edit this joint and get it out.
Hey, man. Okay, yeah.
We're gonna get this
Shout
one
out
out.
to Kendrick, man. Mr. Morale,
Hey,
the Big
man.
Steppers.
The incomparable
If you,
Kendrick Lamar.
Anything like Austin, go check it out. You know what I mean?
Damn.
Hey man, ain't no shame in my game. It's all good. I've been listening to Coda.
Coda,
Yeah, man.
Y'all tap into Coda.
Listen to Coda.
For sure.
Send it to us.
Send something in the chat.
I'm gonna just send Bitter real quick.
Matter of fact, send it to me individually.
Bitter.
Send it in the chat, I might ignore it.
And for Trouble Boys.
Not even gonna lie.
That too.
Those just
But yeah, man.
I'll ignore
That
it all
nigga
the
Kendrick
same.
did it again, man.
Kendrick had a great album.
Man, this what
Check
he
it
do.
out. Check out the Mac 5.
And those of y'all who don't like it yet, just give it time.
Man,
It'll hit y'all.
LA all
Some of y'all
day.
might be too young and all that, but man, this shit is amazing.
Facts.
It's his best album, period.
peace up. A-Town down.
Back 5, man. What?
This nigga said, man.
Yeah.
This nigga said, peace up, H&M.
Hey man, I'm from